Hi folks, welcome back. In this video, we will take a look at the various OCI security services. Now, this is quite important from exam point of view again, because you need to have a good understanding of what all security-based services are available out of OCI, right? And what I've done here is I've actually brought everything under one umbrella so that you get a good understanding on one slide deck. You can try and understand that what security services are available in OCI. So now this list will keep on increasing as we go along, right? So, and I will try to update this slide regularly as soon as new security services are updated. So let's take a look. The very first one is identity and access management. So don't worry if you don't know about identity and access management. We will do a deep dive into identity and access management because this is another topic inside OCI Security Services, which is weighted at around, say around 10%, I would say, for the exam. So what is covered under IAM is basically authentication and authorization. And we will understand these two terms later in the lessons. But for a moment, you can understand that authentication is who you are and authorization is what you are supposed to do, right? Two things. So IAM covers user authentication, which ensures you have secure user access with MFA. So multi-factor authentication is MFA. So normally the MFA is, you can actually use the authenticator from Google or Microsoft or Oracle. Then you have policy-based access control. So with policy-based access control, we have a concept of IAM policies. What is an IAM policy? IAM policy is nothing but a set of rules or a document which specifies what level of access or permissions are given to a group. And there's a concept of identity federation, which allows the user to log in using their existing corporate credentials, mainly something from Azure AD, because your Active Directory or your credentials, login credentials or your Windows credentials would be stored inside AD, and you can use those credentials to log into OCI. And this is what we call federation. So under the IAM, you cover all these things. And then we have a service called CloudGuard. Now, CloudGuard is something which gives CSPM. You would have heard the term. CSPM stands for Cloud Security Posture Management. So it is actually helping you to understand the posture of your tenancy, right? How secure is your tenancy? So under CloudGuard, we cover things like threat detection. As the name suggests, you are detecting some threats. So in world of security, we normally say there are preventative controls, there are detective controls, and there are reactive controls, right? So this is PDR. So here we are talking about threat detection. So it's a detective control, right? So a threat detection will identify and flag potential security threats, right? So if there are any cyber threats or something comes up on your tenancy, then it will be identified as under threat detection. Then you also have a concept of risk scoring. Now, it's very important that you should understand whether it's a high, medium, or low risk, right? So it assigns the risk score to the resource and configuration. It shouldn't be that for a low risk, you are spending a lot of time and effort. So that's why Oracle will clearly distinguish between a high risk, low risk, and critical risk, right? And yes, it does give you automated remediation as well. So something we talked about preventative, then we talked about detective control. This is more of a reactive control, right? If you see something, you react to it. So it does give you options to automatically remediate issues. So you have to be a bit careful when you use the automated remediation. So you need to look at your processes, what is allowed within your infrastructure, within your environment before going with the reactive controls. Then we have something known as WAF or a web application firewall. So normally this would be used for internet facing applications. So if you have internet facing web servers and all, to protect your web servers from outside traffic, you can actually filter that traffic using a web application firewall. So the WAF will help you with the traffic filtering, which protect the application from malicious and unwanted internet traffic. So if you have, let's say, this is your internet and it's directly reaching your servers. So in between, we are keeping a WAF, right? It's just like a firewall. It's the same concept of a firewall, but we call it a WAF, which is web application firewall. It's a service within OCI. It can also prevent bot management, so which controls the access from bots, allowing beneficial bots and blocking malicious ones. So sometimes hackers use this concept of bots, so they can create a lot of bots and then send traffic to your web server or website. So this is so the WAF is intelligent enough to actually control the access from bots. Then there is something called DDoS. DDoS is distributed denial of service. So one is denial of service. So denial of service means, let's say this is your web server, right? So what denial of service will do, it will start sending a lot of traffic, right, to your website so that it gets overwhelmed. But what distributed denial of service does, it will distribute it. So that traffic can come from various different geographical locations, right? So the whole purpose is to actually overwhelm your service so that you can't accept any new connections. And a WAF would actually help protect applications from distributed denial of service attacks. So I guess you get a good understanding, DOS or DDoS. Then under database security comes Oracle DataSafe, an amazing tool, guys. What Oracle has done is, so if you guys are familiar with the Oracle databases, you would have come across a term DBSAT, which is the database security assessment tool. So this was kind of a shell script you used to run, and then it used to give you the posture of the database security, right? So what Oracle has done is that they've come up with a tool called Oracle DataSafe, which is basically, you can say it can be run for any, say, Oracle database. You could run the database on-prem. You could be having an Exadata clouded customer database. You could be having autonomous database. You could be having a database service database. So all these are covered under Oracle DataSafe. And again, it is kind of a CSPM, but more on the database side, right? It is giving a posture of your database security. So what all things are covered under DataSafe is security assessment. So it can run a scan on your database to give this security assessment. It's normally as per the benchmarks like CIS, GDPR, DSA-STIG. So these are all the compliance that it looks at, right? Then you have a concept of user assessment. So user assessment can tell you all the privileged users within your database, right? Whether those privileged users are locked or should be locked. So this is something that comes under user assessment. Then we have a concept of data discovery, very important. It can actually help you figure out where exactly is your PII. When I say PII, it is personally identifiable information, right? Something like your credit cards, your social security number, your passport numbers. This is called a PII. It's very important for any organization to protect its PII. So once you have, let's say, discovered where your PII resides, you can even use data masking. So you can mask that PII. Let's say you have a credit card number like this, so you can mask it into a different format, right? Something like different characters you can use, 5, 6, 4, something like that, right? Or you can randomize it. So this is data masking. Then we have a concept of auditing as well. So auditing is nothing but any database events that are getting logged can be sent to Oracle DataSafe as well. So this all is covered under database security or Oracle DataSafe. Then we have OCI Vault. So it is more of like an HSM, which is normally used for storing your keys, and it also helps in key management as well. It's a key management solution from Oracle. So it is a secure secret storage which provides centralized location of managing secrets like your ME keys, MEX, encryption keys, and policies, right? So this is your like HSM, as I said, which is hardware security module. So you can always keep your say keys inside a wallet, and that can be software based or it can be hardware based. Hardware based is I would say the recommended approach, and this is where OCI Vault comes into picture, right? And the second part is the key management. It also allows you to manage your keys, so you can centrally manage and control the use of keys and secrets across a wide range of OCI services and applications. So OCI Vault comprises of the HSM, the storage part, and also the key management part. Then we also have a concept of security zones, or SZs as we call it. It is available in OCI, but I have seen like not many customers using it because it is like tightening a lot of things, and sometimes with security it's good to tighten a lot of things, but then it can create a lot of operational challenges as well. So you have to be very careful when you go with security zones. So all it does is it creates some robust recipes, we call them. So you are just creating a recipe, especially let's say on a compartment, say C1, you create this security zone which is part of C1, and you can build certain specific set of rules which are allowed and not allowed, right? So even as an admin, if you have access on that compartment, or your cloud admin, still you are not allowed to do that, because it actually checks the rules that have been set for the as part of the security zone. So, and one perfect example is that if you don't want to create, or you don't want your admins to create public buckets inside a specific compartment, so you can put that kind of ruling or a security zone policy or recipe there. And it just ensures that resources are created and managed in compliance with security best practices. So what you can do is you can come up with your own set of security policies, right? And your company's own security policies, and based on that you can come up with some recipes, as I said. And it will actually block the activity, very importantly. Even if you are a super admin and you try to, let's say, create a public bucket inside a compartment, it won't allow you, because it actually looks at that recipe and sees whether I'm allowed or not. Even as an admin, if you're doing something which is not part of the security zone, then it won't allow you to, and it will block that activity and violates the defined security posture. So I think with this lecture, you would have got some good understanding about what are the various security services that are available within OCI today. So it's IAM, CloudGuard, WAF, database security under Oracle DataSafe, Vault, security zones. And trust me, this list will keep on growing. Thanks for watching.